So, May was full of events as it was our last month in London. I mean, last full month. So, we started the month by exploring Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. Here we found a wonderful Italian cafe where we spent the evening. The staff was actually Italian. I know I might be an idiot for being excited because of such things, but I am. And the food was just fantastic. And the food is kind of the most important thing for me, you know? We also traveled to Greenwich by ferry. As I have already mentioned, I love traveling by water, especially when this travel is full of sights. And it's so cool to see all the London sights from water. In May, we also visited the Westminster Abbey. I really love this place. As a child, I read about it in the English textbooks, dreaming of seeing this historical building one day. When I visited the UK for the first time, I was really excited to see this place, and honestly, all of my expectations came true. First time we went there with a guide, being really scared of getting lost and everything. This time we did everything ourselves and explored the abbey in our own pace. This made the visit even more wonderful. Such a shame you can't film there, isn't it? When I only learned that I was going to London, my first thought was, oh my god, I'm gonna visit the concert of someone cool. Because you see, the artists that I love rarely visit my home country. Then I stumbled across the fact that Olly Murs was giving a concert at the O2 Arena. Oh, I couldn't miss the chance, could I? We also visited natural history and science museums. Oh god, they were so fun. I mean, look at all these exhibitions. And well, dinosaurs. Moving dinosaurs. Honestly, I've never been a huge fan of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I haven't even known anything about this universe until the moment the Jurassic World was released. But the dinosaurs are still so cool. They are my favorite part of any natural history museum. I get excited as a kid every time I see them. We then went to see the Science Museum, and oh my god, these places are just so good to stare at, you know? I think they're wonderful for kids. I mean, they're interesting, interactive, and such a fun way of teaching children about the world around us, you know? Our next stop was the London Aquarium. I suppose that all of my emotions from this month in London, and every other one, will be just wow. This city has so many fun things to engage with. I was there for 6 months and I still explored only the tiniest bit of it. No regrets, but still. So the aquarium. Besides the most magical atmosphere created by the dim light and those aquariums and fish, the funniest thing happened to me there, you know? So I went there 2 days after Olly Murs' concert. Naturally, I was wearing the t-shirt I bought at the arena. This is what I always do. After a really good concert, I wear the merchandise literally everywhere. So we entered the room with starfish. There was a staff member there telling the information about the starfish and how you could pet it but carefully. So we walked over there looking at the fish, and there were only us and the staff member. He was telling his ready-made lines when he said into the microphone, not even changing the intonation. So how was Olly Murs' concert? I was caught so off guard that I didn't even reply straight away. Anyway, I did, and we talked for a while when a yell came, "Where's Olly Murs?" Another staff member came running towards us, almost out of his breath, demanding to know where Olly Murs was. The first guy looked puzzled, and so did we. The second guy looked at us and was like, "You literally just said that Olly Murs was here." No, I just asked her how the concert was. Oh my god. This second guy looked so disappointed. He looked at me at my tea and was like, "So, no Olimers, huh?" I can't even imagine how excited he felt running there, thinking his favorite singer visited his workplace. And what a disappointment it was to find me. Anyway, our trip was incredibly interesting and fun. What I loved most of all, though, were the penguins. I mean, how can you possibly resist falling in love with these cuties? We must have spent at least 30 minutes there, just staring at them, talking to them, and we regret nothing. After that, we visited the Tower of London. It turned out that an ordinary ticket gives you an opportunity to take a guided tour with the history of executions in the tower. It also turned out that such a bloody guided tour can be incredibly entertaining. I find it really interesting and fascinating to stroll through such old fortresses. Even if they were rebuilt, it's still history and it's highly fascinating. And the ravens, oh my god, the ravens! I've mentioned already that when I was a little girl, or to be more precise, till I was 18, I used to flip through my English textbooks, looking at all the texts about British sites and just sigh. I dreamt about visiting them one day, of seeing them with my own eyes, going through these experiences, and well, most of all, I wanted to see Westminster and the Tower. And that is why I get so excited both in the Abbey and in the Tower. They were exactly how I imagined them, and even more beautiful, more grand. And for me, since my childhood, the Tower has always been about the birds. I wanted to see them more than anything, and boy did I get excited, freaked out when I did. When I first visited London, we didn't really have a chance to visit the London Eye. First, we were busy. Second, I was scared to take everything into my hands. It was my first trip abroad, and I felt incredibly self-conscious of my language. So we decided to skip it. This time, though, we went there and oh my god, how splendid the experience was. We managed to avoid queues and spent the most wonderful time there. London is beautiful, but looking at it from this height is even more wonderful and breathtaking. In May, we decided to return to Tate Modern to explore it in more detail, as in February it was mostly about the viewing deck than about what's inside. To be honest, I'm no expert in art, no kind of it. I assess it solely on the principle of whether I like it or not. The things presented in Tate Modern were extremely interesting to watch. We spent half a day there just wandering about. May also marked my second visit to the Sherlock Holmes Museum. Turned out it also changed. Who would have thought, right? There were guides now and, well, less opportunity to sit in the armchairs. On the last floor, there was this pin board where the visitors could leave their cards, just like as if they were, visiting the real famous detective. And you know what? There was a card of a professor from our university, not the university we were studying as exchange students in, no, our home university. It was so exciting. The world is just smaller than we think, isn't it? We also went to see Little Venice, which was of huge interest for me because I had just finished reading Little White book, and one of the main scenes there took place in Little Venice. We also paid a visit to the Tower Bridge. For some reason, I wrongly assumed that it would be just a watching deck, nothing special, and how wrong I was. Turned out there are two tunnels, so to say, filled with the bridge's history, interesting facts, and information about other famous world bridges, and so on. Oh, and I loved that the bridge had transparent floor. It felt as if I was walking over London, on top of the world. Or London, to be more precise. There was also an exhibition of different mechanisms that are at work on the bridge, which was very fascinating to see. After that, we paid another visit to Camden Town. The first time we were there, I got my first tattoo. Second time, went there for shopping, as there were a lot of tourist shops there. I bought myself a t-shirt saying that my Patronus is a TARDIS, and oh my god, is this a treasure for me? Anyway, after that we set out for Hampstead Heath, where we spent a lovely evening. This park was so huge, so calming, so beautiful. And look at this doggy. So all in all, May was the longest month we spent in London because so many things happened and we visited so many places. It was just fascinating and I loved every second of it.